Let me call the meeting to order. Derek, would you do the invocation for us?
Sir. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your love. We thank you for all that you've done for us. Thank you for this city. Thank you for our country. Lord, help us to have wisdom as we conduct the business of the city. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Would you do the pledge for us?
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here. Until you get to be 70 years old, you don't realize that 9 o'clock's early. But we deserve it. But anyway, next item on the agenda is the reading of the minutes of the previous council meeting, which is June the 9th. The members of council have had an opportunity to review. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Have a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda are communications from the mayor. The mayor's not going to say a whole lot. City attorney is in probate court today. He could not be here with us today. This is he goes to probate court and fills in and helps on Thursday, so he couldn't be with us today. So we're going to miss him today. So anyway, next item on the agenda is zoning matters. We have none. Next item is third and final reading of ordinance 2014-08. Mr. Goulart.
This is this the one that you wanted tabled? You want to come up to the podium?
Yes, sir, Mr. Goulart. I feel that maybe I haven't answered all the questions that the council might have, and rather than to have it brought up for a vote before they're informed, I feel like I need to have it tabled unless they would like to go ahead and vote yes, so we can get a lot of people to work.
I guess what he's doing, he's asking the council, would you consider tabling the third and final reading? I did the public hearing Monday night, so it's within your discretion to vote to table it or go forward with it.
Is that agreeable with council to table it?
Why, is there any, I mean, I'm not really sure what you're talking about, just,
Well,
If you could speak up a little louder, this old guy's 70 and it's hard to
that's
hear.
okay. I've called 3 of the councilmen to try to get some feedback as to what might be wrong with the packet that I gave, and haven't heard any response. And usually that's a negative vibe. So I thought maybe if in time I had a little more time, I could bring it and maybe answer questions if I could get the questions. Does that make sense?
It's up to the council.
I'd recommend we go ahead and vote on it. It's on the agenda. We've had the public hearing.
Any further comments from the council?
I'm in agreement with Mr. Gray. If we'd like to go ahead and solve an issue, take care of the business while it is at hand, we have had the packet to review.
Okay.
I would rather have, rather than bring it to a vote and maybe be voted down, I'd rather have some more time to answer any concerns, unless there aren't any.
Well, sir, I did receive your message asking me to meet with you individually,
If you had questions, yeah.
and honestly, I didn't feel comfortable meeting with you one-on-one outside of this building, but
Well, it could have been here. It didn't matter. But it's just real important for a lot of people that are intending on working there. I'm getting calls from them constantly, and I just hate to bring it forward and maybe me failing my job in getting the project for them. So,
Seems to be the consensus of the council to go ahead, and since the public hearing's been done, that we go ahead and continue that, and I almost said tonight, but it's this morning. So, Mr. Goulart, I'll
Okay.
get back to you.
Ordinance number 2014-08, rezoning be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and it is hereby ordained by the authority thereof that the following property owned by Ted C. Moss, also known as Volunteer LLC, known as map and parcel number 0012C0100A9, lot number 9, Fort Town Place, Fort Town Drive, is hereby rezoned to a PM zoning.
Is there a motion to approve?
One second.
Yes, Mr. Crawford.
I'd like to address, since I need a legal opinion since our attorney's not here. I guess I'll address.
Direct it to.
All right. I feel like I have a conflict. It's not a financial conflict, but there's a family member that, and I addressed with you, that said he may be doing work on this project, and I just want to know what your opinion on that is.
I think it would be my opinion that in an abundance of caution, I would abstain because there's a potential of a conflict of interest.
Okay.
Plus the appearance of impropriety having.
Well, I want to be fair for them and
Sure.
fair to the city of Fort Oglethorpe.
And we have adequate number here.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Crawford. Is there a motion to approve? Looks like it's going to die for lack of a motion. Next item on the agenda, third and final reading, 2014-09. Mr. Goulart.
Ordinance number 2014-09, rezoning, be it ordained by the mayor and council of the city of Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and it is hereby ordained by the authority thereof that the following property owned by James R. Brown and Bernard H. Brown, DBA Brown Construction Company, known as map and parcel number 0012C0100A9, lot 9, Fort Town Place, Fort Town Drive, is hereby rezoned to a PM zoning.
And
Mr. Goulart,
Yes, sir.
could I have this one tabled?
I believe the gentleman, would you come forward and state your name for the record and state your request?
I guess I'm confused. This is all kind of new to me. I'm not that, but can we have this one tabled?
You can ask.
Well, yeah. I would like to ask for this one to be tabled.
So you're asking that this one be tabled, is that correct?
Yeah, I actually was wanting the last one to be tabled, but I guess it couldn't have been done. But maybe we could table this one.
Okay. Get a feel from the council?
My feeling would be the same on this one as it was the first one.
Same feeling with you, Ms. Denny? Anyone else on the council?
And I'd like to just say I'm going to recuse myself on this one as well.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve? Looks like this one's going to die for lack of a motion also. Next item on the agenda, first reading 2014-10, subdivide track 3.
Okay, this is not really supposed to be an ordinance in ordinance form, nor is it supposed to be in a resolution form. It has, in accordance with our code, Mr. Carlton has complied with all the prerequisites to do the subdivide, which is exclusively with the planning division. So the only thing I would think is, as a formality, is just approve the subdivide that's already been done by the planning commission.
So it's a resolution, so we do vote on it.
You can.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve by resolution?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Gray,
I'll second.
second by Mr. Smith. Any further discussion?
I do have one question.
Mr. Gray?
Does it need to be moved under new business, Mr. Goulart, instead of under resolutions and then vote under
Could
new
do
business?
You could do it as either way you wanted to. I just wanted to go, since it was already on as a formality. It's an unusual situation. Most of the time on a subdivide, there's some zoning issue change, and in this one, there's not. So it only deals with the plat. So I felt like just to approve basically what the planning commission's already done is what you're doing.
But it can be done under,
It can be done either way.
Okay.
Either way.
All right, and we got a motion, we got a second, so is there any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Denny?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Resolution passed 5-0. Next item on the agenda is resolutions, Resolution 2014-04. Mr.
Yes,
Goulart?
This is the final resolution. You have previously approved the preliminary bond resolution, but this is resolution number 2014-04 bond resolution, and it has to do with the refunding and refinancing of our current 2009 bond. This will be the refinancing of the 2009 bond was for 14 million. Was for 11 million. This is a refunding and refinancing of 16,500,000. By doing the refinance or refunding, the city will save approximately $700,000 on this move. So this is just the final resolution, so I'd need a motion to approve it.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Stinney. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda is resolution number 2014-05, water and sewer rates. Mr. Goulart?
Yes, sir. This is resolution number 2014-05, a resolution to provide for the setting of rates for the use of water and sewer. As you know, as part of the bond requirements, the cities is required annually to adjust their water and sewer rates to demonstrate that the revenue derived from the operation of the system can pay the debt service of the bond. And also we do it to adjust our rates depending on the rate increase from the city of Chattanooga for sewer and the rate increases for Tennessee American Water. Last year, the city of Chattanooga, we had to pay a lump sum difference between what we were paying, and that was never passed along, so it's incorporated in this rate increase too. As part of this bond issue, it looks like this increase in the next 2 years will pretty much take care of the debt service on the bond, so we should be pretty much breaking even. The difference in the rate, the inside the city rates, the current residential minimum water and sewer is $29.24. That will increase to $31.87. The commercial is currently $37.88. It will increase to $41.29. Outside the city, the sewer rates for residential is $19.79. That will increase to $21.57. The commercial is $25.32. It will increase to $27.60. Outside the city sewer rates that was Catoosa County Water Service. Now for Tennessee American outside the city on sewer rates, it's currently $20.20. It will increase to $21.98, and commercial minimum is currently $25.73. It will increase to $28.01. So I'm asking for approval of those rate increases.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Gray. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried, unanimous. Nobody likes rate increases, but it's an inevitable fact that things do increase in price. None of us like those things, but it's just a way of life. Next item on the agenda, unfinished business, there is none. Next item, reading of the city clerk of any communications, there is none. Next item on the agenda is new business, and we have 12 items here. Proposed approval in employee health insurance. Mr. Goulart?
Yes. I regret to inform you, and we have desperately tried to get some competitive quotes on our current insurance policy, but we have been unsuccessful. And the reason is that we have such a high claim ratio, and we've got a lot of sick people. And unfortunately, the increase is approximately 35% increase from what it was last year. I have Ms. Brown here available to answer any questions concerning the renewal, but we have tried to get other companies to quote, and they will not. And I think maybe one or two did, but it was so expensive, it was probably close to twice what we're currently paying. So I'm asking that you approve the rate increase, and we'll continue to use United Healthcare for another year.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Crawford. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Unfortunately, yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried, unanimous. Next item on the agenda, approval, Lookout Mountain Community Services for 15 additional parking spaces. Mr. Goulart?
Yes, over the years, Lookout Mountain Community Services, after they vacated the premises, they've been leasing the parking spaces up behind Steak and Shake from us. And so I'd ask that we renew that lease down. They've changed it to 15 spaces, and it's $90 a month for those 15 spaces. So I'd recommend approval of that.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Rogers. Any
Second.
second by Ms. Stinnett. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stinnett?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
They've got parking spaces are approved. Next item on the agenda, proposed ratifying the 6th Cavalry lease. Mr. Goulart?
Yes, this is a lease that's we've had for years. There were some minor changes in it. It was signed by the Mayor Pro Temp. I'm asking that the council ratify a motion to ratify the existing lease and make it permanent.
Is there a motion to ratify?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Stinnett. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to just ask another legal question.
Sure.
And which I know Miss McKeever does a great job out there, and I'd like to always say that you do a fantastic job. The part with the use of the polo field, I know that's been some discussion back and forth. Can you explain that?
Sure.
Because I know we've had some different lawsuits in the past on that stuff, and I know there's always that one topic, and it was changed in our new charter revisions. And
Correct. First, let me just state that there's two separate entities. This is the 6th Cavalry, Friends of the 6th Cavalry, Inc., which is totally separate from the tourism committee that is an organization. It's a 501c6, of which we fund for tourism. That is the organization that currently does most of the events on the polo field. And they pretty much way ahead of time get with the city and give us a schedule of what events they're going to have. The 6th Cavalry, to my knowledge, only has one event a year, and that's when they bring in the military equipment and park it there on the field. That's the only time that they ever use it. I don't see it as being an issue because they got two separate entities involved here. This lease only is for the 6th Cavalry. I don't know if that answers the question, but
yeah, I mean, it answers.
okay.
Let me ask you another question now that we're in discussion. Our city attorney, and we discussed, we've got a lawsuit now that's still pending on a cricket pad, which, and I don't think if you've gone up there and you look at that cricket pad, you wouldn't know what it is. It's just pieces of concrete that are there. But we have a pending lawsuit that we've already expended something like what, $48,000 in fees. Am I correct?
I'm not sure how much.
We have, and Mr. Stoltz said potentially, and this is a potential. Are we putting this governing authority and the taxpayers in harm's way by not bringing back to the governing authority any use of the polo field? And I know polo field's a very protected entity. So would it be improper to add to this lease by an amendment to the lease that any use of the polo field for a function would come back to this council, this governing authority, for their approval?
I don't believe it's necessary. If you'll recall, and this happened prior to your arrival, the previous council voted to allow the cricket pitch. So it was all done in good faith. And that is the reason why the charter has now been changed to allow this council to make material changes and modifications, provided it's consistent with the use of the polo field. So I don't really see the need for it, Mayor, because normally any of those functions, the tourism committee depends on the city to help them organize it and set it up. We do a lot of work up there ourselves to get it ready and participate in it. So,
Where do we stand on that lawsuit on the cricket pad?
it is currently in the Supreme Court. It's been docketed there on a final review. Probably have some decision very shortly.
We've offered a settlement, is that correct?
I don't know of any. There could have been one during my absence. I'm not aware of it. I just know that it's pending in the appellate court.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda, proposed ratifying of the appeals board decision for sign variance for Walmart. City manager, Mr. Goulart.
Yes, Previously, we approved a variance on the parking, and then Walmart realized that perhaps they needed to change their sign to some degree, and it exceeded the dimensions allowable in our sign ordinance. It went before the Planning Commission. They approved it, and so it's here for your approval also.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Gray. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith,
Yeah.
Ms. Stennett,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Motion carried, unanimous. Next item on the agenda, proposed approval for engineering authorization for Scruggs Road Sewer Project. Director of Public Utilities.
I'll take care of that. He's on vacation.
Okay. You got it then, don't you?
Yeah. As you know, and in addition with the Volkswagen new announcement and the Cabela's and all the development there off of Cloud Springs, we want to make sure that we can accommodate any business that wants to come out there. And so this is for engineering services for the feasibility of connecting a sewer and a force main and a pump to be located on Scruggs Road. It's with CTI Engineering. I would recommend approval. It's in the amount of $26,000, and that covers the design and permitting, bidding and construction phase, survey and design.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Stennett,
Second.
second by Mr. Rogers. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stennett?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried, unanimous. Next item on the agenda, miscellaneous equipment. You got it again, Mr. Goulart.
Okay. You may recall prior to the trip to Savannah, I had a vendor that was liquidating their inventory, and I polled the council and got approval to make this acquisition. It's for 2 generators, air compressor, a pressure washer, and a large water pump for the utility department. The amount is $5,616, and I'm asking for approval of that.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Rogers. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gray. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stennett?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried. Item 7, you're on.
Okay. This is, as you know, we participate in gov deals where we place surplus property online and the public and other entities can bid on it. This is for surplus police vehicles. That's listed in your handout. There's a total of 10 vehicles on your page. I wanted to add one more. It's a 98 model Ford police car. It's got 159,600 miles on it, and asking that it be permitted to be surplus too.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith.
Second.
Second by Mr. Crawford. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stennett?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried, unanimous. Next item on the agenda, proposed approval for additional sick leave. Mr. Goulart.
Our current personnel ordinance authorizes the city manager to grant 5 days leave of absence without pay. We have an employee that's been with the city for quite some time that's had some medical issues. She has exhausted her family medical leave time. I granted her the 1 week I had authority to grant, and so I'm asking on this particular case to allow me to give her 2.5 weeks, and I have a doctor's note that indicates that she would be able to return then, so I'm asking for 2.5 weeks. Or 15 days might be easier.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Rogers. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Stenney,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous, and that is a good thing to do. Next item on the agenda, proposed approval to replace fence at water tank. Mr. Goodward.
We have, the Georgia EPD conducted an inspection of our water system, and our water tank, everything is fine except they want us to replace the fence around our water tank. It's approximately 500 feet of fence. They wanted it to be at least 6 feet with a triple bob wire. And so we got quotes. The low quote was $9,573. That would be with Quality Fence Company. It will come out of the current budget balance of $26,452. I would recommend approval of that.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Gray. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith,
Yep.
Ms. Stenney,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. Item 10, Mr. Goulart.
We are currently, as part of our stormwater program that's mandated by EPD, are required to implement certain things over certain periods of time, and one of them is the post-development stormwater plan inspections. It's got to be done by someone who's certified to do it. CTI is in that business also, so I would ask approval to use that firm for post-development stormwater plan inspections. That cost will be obviously be passed along to the developer as part of the construction fees and permitting fees.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Rogers. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Stenney,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item on the agenda, proposed approval for agreement of engineering services, amendment number 2, Mac Smith Road Sewer. Mr. Goulart.
Okay, this is a request from the city. It's not a change order that's requested during the construction. This is one we want to do to add additional footage to the gravity sewer. The current engineering services fee is $114,500. This would be an increase to do the additional 1,200 feet of $35,300 for a total of $49,800. So I'd ask approval of that.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Mr. Gray. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Stenney,
Yes.
Mr. Gray,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. Next item on the agenda, proposed approval of the brush truck repairs, 274954. Mr. Goulart.
Okay, this is our number one brush truck. We had to have the transmission replaced and repaired. It exceeded my authority. The cost is $2,749.54, so I'd ask approval for those repair costs.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Motion or approve or second? But from
Second.
Okay, Mr. Crawford. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rogers. Any further discussion? Mr. Smith?
Yeah.
Ms. Stinney?
Yes.
Mr. Gray?
Yes.
Mr. Crawford?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carried unanimous. I missed the garbage truck, or that truck. My neighbors missed it. They had tree limbs out there, and I thought he was gonna grow a tree. I'm glad you got that fixed. Next item on the agenda, City Manager's Report. Mr. Goulart.
Couple of things. It appears that our revenues are doing good. They certainly exceed our expenditures at this point in time. And I wanted to report that the utility department applied for a grant with the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority. It's commonly called GEFA. For water inspection services, and we were awarded that. They've agreed to pay the total cost to inspect 30 miles of water lines. We have approximately 31 in the city, so that's pretty much all of our entire system. And they will go out, inspect, detect leaks, and mark them, and wherever they find these leaks, we've agreed to make those necessary repairs. So it's going to be good for us as far as our water loss is concerned. And with that being said, that's all I have.
Okay. Next item on the agenda, City Council comments. Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the public that's asked about my wife, and we spent almost 5 weeks over at Vanderbilt. Everything appears right now to be going well, and we will know in September with another biopsy if everything turns out right. And I appreciate all the prayers and everybody that's been concerned. We got some good people in this town. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Ms. Stinney.
Thank you, sir. Take a moment to brag about patriotism at the Post. Over 3,000 people were there in attendance, and it was the largest crowd we've had. There were many vendors, children's activities. Everyone seemed to have a wonderful time. There were over 80 volunteers. I was one of those who was blessed to be there the whole evening. Cars everywhere. Parking raised nearly $2,000. Atlanta Pyrotechnics provided an awesome fireworks show. I hope everyone here was fortunate enough to attend. Many organizations were there volunteering, including Tourism Association, the 6th Cavalry, Public Works Department, Citizens Police Academy, Police Department were there, Fire Department, St. Gerard's Knights of Columbus, the Boy Scout troops, Tabernacle Big Band was awesome. Everyone was moving about, dancing to their music. Battlefield Seventh-day Adventist Church, Fort Oglethorpe First Baptist Church. It was really a great community event. So I hope with word of mouth from what this one was, next year will be even bigger. Speaking of opportunities coming up in Fort Oglethorpe, there will be an opportunity to volunteer for Remembering Our Heroes. That's October 24th and 25th. Everyone needs to be getting ready and practicing the running for the Chickamauga Battlefield Marathon, which will be held Saturday, November the 8th. And Georgia on My Mind Day at the Ringgold VIC is Friday, October 3rd. So put those things on your calendar, as well as the Rick Honeycutt World Series coming up July 26th through 31st. Volunteers are needed for that event, and please contact Chris McKeever, who is heading that volunteer organization at 706-861-2860 so that you can be a part of that Get ready, people, because the Highway 27 yard sale is coming up also, July 31st through August 3rd. Get ready to go shop. I've been asked by several entities to really caution people about children being left in cars for too long, as there has been a lot of unfortunate occurrences due to that. Citizens' concerns. A lady brought to my attention dog owners on the trail. If you have any furry children, which I have 3, and they're not quite potty trained walking on the community trails, please make sure you clean up after your puppy pal and don't leave their accidents for other people. Another citizen brought to my attention, and he admitted that he was wrong. He received a ticket from Fort Oglethorpe's Finest in regard to a slow and go. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to stress how much I support the police department and their right to write the tickets. Please observe all of the rules for driving in Fort Oglethorpe. Gentlemen, that's it for Council Lady comments today.
Mr. Gray,
I have nothing, sir.
Mr. Crawford.
Yeah, I'd like to, first of all, start off saying happy anniversary to my wife. We've been married 10 years today, and we've been together 20 years, so I know what you've been saying about yours. And
What an amazing woman.
I know, she is, she is. I got good examples. You know, my parents have been married 52 years, so that's good examples. Also, I'd like to just remember the family. I know it's been a couple of weeks, but Billy Joe McDaniel passed away, and he was a great ambassador to our city, and member of the school board for over 40 years, dedicated many volunteer hours to this community, and he's going to be greatly missed. And just remember him and his family. And last couple of weeks, I don't know if y'all been going to these restaurants and couldn't get in. We've had several tournaments going on and a bunch of little kids. It's been great baseball. I know we've had a lot of work going on with that, and I'd like to thank the Fort Oglethorpe Police Department. They had the opportunity to write a lot of tickets up there parking around the ball field, and they helped out with that, and actually the medical crews come in because we had a couple of people get sick due to the heat, and it was a great experience. The citizens kicked in, and the community, and it's been great to have all these people, because 75% of these people are from 50 miles south. You know, they're coming in from Canton, Ackworth, and places like that. So, and they were bragging of our community, and it's great to hear positive things. It makes sitting up here worth a while when you start hearing positive things about your city. So, I'll leave it with that.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, we actually put some numbers together on the tournaments, and it's pretty cool. This month alone, the month of July, we're able to bring in about 150 baseball teams from all over Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama for ball tournaments, including the Rick Honeycutt. And I worked with Narissa Serrano at the state of Georgia. She helped out a lot putting these numbers together, but we anticipate 5,445 visitors in the area for an average of 3 days each, which will generate $858,000 in total spending in the area around here. Local economy, $543,000 in direct sales and $315,000 in indirect sales, $438,000 in wages for people in our community, support 15 jobs. Got to give kudos to the Georgia Department of Economic Development for helping put this together, but would also like to thank, Fort Oglethorpe, the city, Rick Honeycutt, Dizzy Dean Baseball. A lot of people helped make the tournaments possible. And what Craig said about the police, they were really great out there for that tournament. We did have, like he said, they had an opportunity to write a lot of tickets for parking infractions. They were gracious and worked with us to get those folks moved and to uphold the law, but be gracious to all of our guests that were there. So that was nice of them to do that. And I'd like to give Craig kudos. He won't talk about himself, but he's been up there nonstop, getting all this done. And really the relationships that these guys have forged over the years with the Dizzy Dean and different baseball community folks have helped our recreation become something special. Our facilities are special. People love them. I was up there on Saturday. I was talking to folks from Ackworth, Canton, several spots. They love our fields. The wood fences, the brick behind it's just really cool. And they can't speak highly enough of coming up here for tournaments. That's good for us. It's good for our economy, and it's exciting. So Craig and all the folks with the Recreation Association deserve a lot of credit for getting all that done.
I don't say he runs a plumbing business as much as he stays up there. Anything further?
That's it.
Okay. Ms. Stennett, you had one announcement.
I do. Fort Oglethorpe City Council, in conjunction with the Fort Oglethorpe Police Department, would like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to attend Spirit Night in celebration of the life of Mrs. Jan Blevins. As many of you know, Jan lost her courageous battle with cancer on July 4th. We will be gathering at Chick-fil-A in Fort Oglethorpe Tuesday night on the 29th from 5 until 8 p.m. Chick-fil-A is graciously donating a percentage of all dine-in sales to the Blevins family. Jan, of course, is the wife of Lieutenant Steve Blevins of Fort Oglethorpe Police Department. We have several vendors who are donating prizes for silent auction. Jimmy Bodine will be singing that evening, and Debbie Gilbert will be painting faces for the children. So we hope that all of you will take the opportunity to come by and share your thoughts with Steve and his family. Also, Fort Oglethorpe Police Department will be conducting a poker run for the Blevins family Saturday, July 26. Please check fortogov.com for more information on these two events. And thank you for being the citizens of Fort Oglethorpe who support and encourage each other. Sir?
Steve Blevins is a very special person. He and his family were, and I know it's a tremendous loss. I'll tell you a story about Steve, and I've told him this, and I don't want to embarrass him. When I had a heart attack a few years ago, Steve was with our police department. I was not involved in politics, any way, form, or fashion at that time. Steve would come by my house every few weeks and just check to see if I was okay. He didn't have to do that. I think that's one of the reasons that our police department is very special. And it's like what they did at the polo field. And if you're not involved, if you got kids or grandkids in recreation, get involved. It's the best years of your life is spent up there with your children and your grandchildren. When my kids were growing up, my dog would growl at me when I went home because he thought I was a stranger. And so those are the best years of your life. And Larry, your dad, he put a lot of long hours in up there, a ton of hours.
Mayor, I'd also like to say, I mentioned a lot of people, but Jeff Long has done an unbelievable job too with our recreation, and his reputation and ability up there at the ball fields have really helped. I just thought that I forgot to mention him. You can't mention everybody, but he has been influential, and he's up there way more than he has to be. Let's put it that way. So, kudos to Jeff.
Mr.
And
Mayor,
that's what makes it special is you have people that are there, not because they have to be, but because they want to be. Volunteers are what make programs great. Enough said. So,
Mr. Mayor, may I make one comment?
Yes,
I
you can.
forgot to announce. We have, out of the police cars you authorized us to purchase some time ago, They are here. We have 2 of them outside. One of them is an Explorer, and one of them is a Taurus, and there's 10 of them. So they're good equipment. I've driven both of them.
I saw one go by the other day, and it looked great to have them rolling down the roads. Next item on the agenda, citizens petitions. We have none. Executive session, we do not have one. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
All those
Second.
have a motion and a second.
My request for tabling was.
We need to talk about this after the meeting, so have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.